Let's go back in time to the year 2020, when the APNU+AFC coalition was at first declared the winner of the 2020 elections. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, has officially declared the ruling coalition, a partnership for national unity and alliance for change, the winner of the country's general election, even as legal and political tensions continued to escalate. The declaration came on a day of high drama, as the opposition People's Progressive Party, PPP, filed a contempt of court motion against Region 4 returning officer Clairmont Mingo, accusing him of defying a previous court order related to the tabulation of votes. In a statement following the announcement, the APNU+AFC coalition expressed satisfaction with the outcome, saying it is pleased that democracy and the rule of law have prevailed. The coalition hailed the final declaration as a vindication of the electoral process. However, the PPP swiftly rejected the results, calling the declaration a clear case of fraud. The party raised concerns about Region 4's declaration, noting that while provisions were made to include signatures of witnesses, serious irregularities remain.
The returning officer for Region 4, Mr. Clairmont Mingo, is being rushed to the hospital from the GECOM Media Center at Hatfield and High Street, Georgetown. Mr. Mingo apparently has been sick since this morning. When the count for Region 4 was supposed to be continued at 9 a.m., it has now been delayed.
The verification process, which was adjourned abruptly last night at about 9 p.m. to resume this morning at 9 a.m., has not yet begun and has not yet resumed, and is now after 11.
And so, in large measure, I agree unapologetically with the pronouncements of Lowenfield at the time, because I took part in the recount. I saw what happened. I could tell you from the recount what happened in Region 1, what happened on the East Coast. And if valid votes were counted, the PPP would have still been in opposition. So
Guyana shine, together we build, now is the time, with all rings strong and heart so true, we're rising up, it's me and you.
we are on a mission to return honesty to Guyana. For too long, those who only know how to thief have been running this country. It is time for us to take our country back. We want people in this country who, when the resources come to our economy, they will ensure that the resources meet the people of Guyana.
Renewed questions surrounding the integrity of Guyana's 2020 general elections have resurfaced, with mounting public pressure for a full investigation into what critics describe as blatant electoral irregularities that may have compromised the credibility of the process. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, which is constitutionally mandated to ensure free and fair elections, is now facing renewed scrutiny following serious allegations that irregularities not only occurred, but may have fatally undermined the legitimacy of the 2020 vote. Central to the latest claims is a controversial recount of Ballot Box 7079, where 377 ballots were reportedly discovered, 25 more than the 352 that were officially issued. Critics argue that this unexplained discrepancy, never satisfactorily addressed by GECOM or the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic, casts a long shadow over the election outcome.
Claim number 7. There were claims that Ballot Box 70 7079, there were 352 ballots which were issued on election day. Man, listen, this one beats it all. I am telling you, if ever the elections petition had an opportunity to be ventilated in a court of law, and GECOM, the PPPC, and all parties could not establish this one or could not defend this one, that's the end of the 2020 election. It would have been over. Box number 7079. This is a box. Seal, come from GECOM. GECOM gave 352 ballots, which means that box number 59, wherever it was to be used, they were only expected to be 352 voters or electors who would have used that 352 ballots. So that 352 were issued. Guess how many ballots came back in box number 7079? 377 were discovered in the box at the recount. So when they call and talk about rigged elections and talk about attempt to rig elections, they must answer. They must answer.
This process is holding up the entire country, and it seems to me that for some reason or the other, GECOM and GECOM's incompetence is holding it back.
This is the height of madness. The height of madness. And it's not even being done in a sensible way, in a polished way. Mr. Lowenfield is just embarrassing himself, and he's making a mockery of this commission and the constitutional independence which this commission has. Clearly, the role of the CEO is to facilitate the process, to ensure that the process is concluded in a timely manner, in accordance with law, and with the integrity of the process intact. What we are witnessing here is that the person who has that responsibility seems to be undermining, frustrating, and defeating that process.
They must answer. Where did the 25 ballots come from? Where did it come from? For over 4 years, they continued to run this narrative of the APNU attempting to rig an elections, and no one, not even a responsible government, stood up and said, listen, the irregularities and concerns which were raised by GECOM, even though the election petition failed because of a procedural error, this is a serious problem. I call on GECOM to investigate this. Whether they say GECOM doesn't have the power to investigate it, I call on the police to investigate it because it's a criminal matter.
Happening in Guyana. This man is declaring the results. This man is declaring illegal results without verifying statement of poll. That is what this man is doing right now.
That is what this man is doing. Everybody is here. Unison chanting. Everybody. Everybody. Look what is happening here. Oh my goodness. I can't.
Commissioner of Police Leslie James has submitted immigration records to the chair of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, Justice Retired Claudette Singh. In response to a request concerning individuals, the APNU+AFC coalition claims were overseas and therefore could not have voted on election day. Justice Singh made the formal request via letter on May 22, 2020, asking the police commissioner to have the immigration department verify the travel status of those listed. The APNU+AFC contends that the individuals named in the attached list, along with their dates of birth, had migrated and were not present in the country to vote on March 2, 2020. Accordingly, I would appreciate it if the immigration department could confirm whether these persons were indeed out of the country on that date. The list also indicates the specific polling divisions and stations where these individuals are said to have cast ballots. The Commission considers this matter urgent and requests your prompt attention, the letter read.
Where did 25 ballots come from? Who were they cast for? Which party is responsible for it? If that, listen. Don't, as Guyanese, we are intelligent people. And we must not allow the PPPC's operatives to continue to insult our intelligence. We must not allow it anymore. Because let me tell you this. If they had blamed APNU for this 25 extra ballots, which were found in box number 7079, the elections would have been over. It means that the court would have had to invalidate that entire process, that entire 2020 elections. It means that President Irfan Ali would have had to demit office. The PPPC remained in government by a fluke. By a fluke. Because anytime this elections petition, if this elections petition has been heard by a court, these are not irregularities echoed by APNU or originated by APNU. These were irregularities raised and concerns raised as they were going through the process. These irregularities were a part of why we had an impasse for months. Because any political party listening to these number of irregularities were going to be concerned as to whether we had a free and fair elections. And so this issue as they go along on the political campaign and the trail, they're telling people, remember how they tried to steal the democracy of this country. This is stealing the democracy of this country. The people who are involved in all these irregularities are attempting to steal the democracy of this country. You have no evidence that is happening. None.
Tonight, APNU and AFC have come to tell you thanks. We covered all of the regions. We laid out our plans. We know what we stand for and we supported us. Over the next 5 years, we are going to make life better for you.
There is absolutely no reason why this region could not have been concluded. And I don't know what the plan is. We all have the results. We have shared our results with the world, all the international community, all the observer teams have it. So I don't know what is the game plan, what's the purpose of this? Because no matter what they do, they cannot undo the results. They know the results, they have it, and we have made ours public, and we're going to make it public tomorrow. When I say public, I mean public to the press.
And anytime you had evidence that that APNU was responsible for this, it means that the entire 2020 election would have been invalidated. Because it doesn't depend on, it doesn't matter which party, whichever party caused these irregularities. You have affected the freeness and legitimacy of an entire elections. So this narrative, and this is why I felt it necessary. I mentioned on a political meeting that they must bring the facts. Is that the PNC and the APNU, that they must come to you for robbing this country of democracy. That is a lie. That is a lie. You must be bold enough to tell them if they have their facts, bring your facts. Bring your facts. You want to say that the APNU rigged the last election? Bring your facts. And imagine people are sending me on Facebook facts of saying, produce your SOPs. Come on. This is not an issue of SOPs. This is an issue of the real irregularities raised by GECOM and the amount of extra ballots which were found in boxes that ought not to be there. Ought not to be there. Cannot be accounted for. We don't know who voted. We don't know who allowed them to vote. They voted outside of the protection of the laws of this country. They are the riggers. They are the riggers.
Well, now some go, some come. Then we have Dexter Todd. Who would have imagined such a professional? The attorney, I could see the Attorney General off the back foot. I don't see the Attorney General off the back foot.
Please remember to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and put your comments below. Hit the notification bell for more updates on the latest events happening in the region and around the world. Thank you, and we love you all.